Hello everyone, this video is on uh, foster parent training reimbursements and how they are handled on child tracks. To my knowledge today, the only state that's really is uh, relevant in is the state of Ohio. But in case you're interested, here it is. So to explain how the training reimbursements work on child tracks, I'm actually going to start on the table maintenance page, and I forgot to log in. I apologize. Just give me 1 second. There we go. So we'll go to the table maintenance page, and we're going to start by looking at a branch office and how do we configure training reimbursements. So on the branch office lookup uh, link on the table maintenance page, we're looking at the branch office of Dayton, and I actually have it set up for Dayton. So we're going to go through these screens, and then we'll actually go look briefly at how it works. So the fields you can set up for training reimbursements to foster parents is the first field is reimbursed by. Okay, this list is going to have your company's name here, but then it's going to pick the organizations that are set up in the organization table from table maintenance. So if you look back at the table maintenance page, there's a link here if I can find it. Organization list. Here's where you can add organizations that will show up on that list. Okay, so let's go back to the branch office and look at Dayton. So that's what populates this list. It'll have your organization's name and any other organizations that are set up in that organization list. The next field is implement. If you do want to reimburse parents for training, then this must be checked. Okay, the next field is placement required. Used to be in Ohio, I don't believe it is this way anymore, that the parents have had to have at least one placement before they can receive reimbursements for training. So if that is the case in your state, just check this box and then the system will not start reimbursing until they've had their first placement. The next setting is how reimbursement periods set within a license period. So this is very similar to how this field works. So 12 months period. So if your state is a 2-year license, then it's going to set up the 2 periods as the first year from license date and then the second year from license date. The second setting is calendar year, and that's pretty straightforward. It's calendar year. Then the third setting is license period. So license periods for, like the state of Ohio, if it's a 2-year license, then whatever you have configured over here, which we'll be going over here in a little bit, would pertain to the whole license period. The license period wouldn't be separated into calendar years or 12-month periods. Then the next field is reimbursed by. There's only 2 options here. It could be hour or class. For the example of Ohio, it's a per hour reimbursement. If it was a per class, then you got so much money per class. And the money part comes in with these 2 settings. So if this is set to 20 for a home, then they get $20 per hour. So if it was a 3-hour class, then the reimbursement for that class is 60. But they also have a max. They have a max of 20. So typically this would be more like $200 or $300. So let's just put those in here to make more sense. So if this was the case, if you entered a 3-hour class, and this is how it was all configured, for that 3-hour class, it's going to give them $20 times 3 hours, which would be $60 for that reimbursement. So now let's say they've had a total reimbursement to date of $190, and you enter another 3-hour class. For that next class, it would only reimburse them $10 because that's all they have left before they reach their maximum. If it was by class, then it would be $20 per class. It doesn't matter how many hours that class was. So in that scenario, the 21st class during that period would not be reimbursed, but the 20th would, because that would get them to $200 if we were looking at a traditional home. Uh, So that kind of explains these two fields also. The difference between non-treatment max and treatment max obviously is like family foster care, treatment foster care. Now, this field though, Save Ohio actually reimburses the agency. So they actually pay your agency to provide those trainings. So again, it's $30 if this was set at hour per hour. So if you did a 3 hour class, then um, your agent, it would create a special payment for your agency for $90. And whoever you have sitting here, like if you looked on Ohio system, this would say State of Ohio, Department of Job Family Services. Then that's who that special payment would be invoiced to. Same way, I didn't mention the special payments. If you're reimbursing your foster parents, when you enter that 3 hour class, it's going to create the payment for those parents automatically. So that's the branch office setup screen. Now let's just go find a home real fast. We'll look at my favorite one to look at is Groundwalker. Hit a search, view details. If we go to look and look at a training report, let's just look at training report for current. You can see what the system's doing on reimbursements. So during this period, there was 12 hours of classes. Right here's the 12 hours, and it reimbursed them for all 12 of those hours. So there's 12 hours total here at, I believe the Groundwalker home is a treatment home. So it would have been a $360, was $20 per hour. It had been $240 that home got reimbursed during that period. So when you're entering a training, let's go ahead and find a class that's out there. Let me go back a month. So here's a life skills class. Let's edit the attendance and let's pick the Groundwalker home. And they're not showing up. So let's just do it this way. Oh, that was a Kentucky class. So let me go back. Let me just do one for an unscheduled class. So we'll say the class was today and it expires a year from now. It started at 3 p.m., ended at 6 p.m. Let's say this was a CPR class and it was at the AME church. It was a class. The trainer was Paul Hanrahan. And I'm not going to add any notes. I'm going to go ahead and say save this training. And then if we pick Groundwalker, Luke, we're attending, and let's just look at this. Training to date, they have 18 of 30 hours. This training is 3 hours. And over here it's going to tell you it's going to reimburse them for 3 hours. So as long as we click that box and we hit save, then you're going to see that reimbursement for the Groundwalker homes. If we come back here to the Groundwalker home and open up Luke's training report current, then we're going to see that CPR today and it reimbursed him for 3 more hours. Now to keep reimbursing, again, he has a maximum of 30 hours to reimburse. So it'll keep reimbursing all the way up to that 30. And if a 3-hour class span that 30, then it's only going to apply the number of hours that gets him to the max. So that's kind of how the training reimbursements work. If we look at special payments for Luke now, you can see those training reimbursements that were actually generated automatically. So this would say, like in Ohio, this would actually say the State of Ohio Department of Job Family Services. It's a training reimbursement for CPR. The payment date is 6/23. You're going to pay the home $60 and you're going to pay the agency $90. And your system would have the GL count set up automatically so it generated those payments to the right GL accounts. So that is the end of the training reimbursements. Uh, if you have any questions, please contact us. Thank you for watching this video.